The title of this mini podcast is, What Can I Do Today? I don't think I'm alone when I say inertia is my weakest suit. It's always been the piece that stands in the way of me beginning something I deem worthwhile. I would call it lazy and leave it at that, but it's abundantly clear that when I do begin something, I put massive amounts of effort into it, and that could never be labeled as lazy. Then I began to wonder about this lifelong trait and discovered that I see things as a whole rather than a collection of their component parts. This makes everything look like a mountain to me. It takes a lot of effort to climb a mountain. Then I got this gift from the Grasshopper. All he said was, today. The meaning wasn't clear at first, but images of a workshop I attended many years before popped into my head. It was a management workshop where the group leader said that the initial objective is never to get to a 10, 10 being the ideal. His advice was to assess where you were on the continuum of 0 to 10 by assigning your current position a number. Let's suppose you rate yourself to be a 4. The question you want to ask yourself at this point is not, how do I get to a 10, but how do I get to a 5? When we view something as a mountain, we miss the foot trails that will lead us to the top. It's usually at this point that we find a diversion to dwell on. Reminds me of a story. My friend and former business partner John Leslie tells the tale of a man who recently moved into his neighborhood. He watched this fellow standing in the driveway of his new home, staring at all the boxes the movers had stored in the garage. They were stacked from floor to ceiling. Now, having moved a number of times himself, John said he could see the wheels turning in the new neighbor's head, and he could almost read his thoughts about what a big job it was going to be to unpack all those boxes and put the items where they belonged. After contemplating this chore, this guy picked up a broom and swept the driveway instead. I've done a lot of driveway sweeping in my time, and the way to put down that broom and accomplish your objective is to focus on today. What can I do today that will have me step in the direction I want to go? What piece of the jigsaw puzzle can I put in place today? It doesn't have to be a big piece. In fact, it's better that you begin slowly so it doesn't feel like a monumental task. Now, personally, I find that a list is helpful. Many of us have enough hubris to think that we can keep everything in our head all the time. Oftentimes, it's productive to take that collection of thoughts and commit them to paper, and then prioritize them. Then it's time to ask the question, what can I do today? You may get caught up in diversionary internal chit-chat and say things like, doing this little thing isn't going to accomplish anything. Notice that conversation. Let it have its say, and then do the small piece anyway. This is the gift of willpower, to do the little things. Willpower can never accomplish the big things. It only has enough energy to accomplish the small pieces. When enough small pebbles begin to accumulate, the beginning of an avalanche can't be that far off. Ask yourself the following question often and see what happens. What can I do today? All the best, John.